All right, all right, all right. How's everybody doing? This is Travis Wells of Appalachian Liberty, and my guest today is Brent Freeman. What is up, Brent?
Hey, good evening, sir. Happy to be doing the show finally. Last time it didn't go off so well.
Yeah, turns out my browser was what was wrong. Once I switched to Google Chrome, I immediately went to like a like freaking terabyte up or down or something like that.
Well, I'm glad
So
we're talking, man. I've been excited to chat with you for some time.
yeah, man, absolutely. Like I felt really bad about last time, and I know it's always my technological illiteracy, but oh well. We're here now. So
Yes, sir.
you said you wanted to talk about cryptids, and I about jumped out of my seat when you said that because I was like, man, that's my favorite subject, if not my second favorite.
That's funny because it hasn't been mine. Like
Really?
yeah, dude. Everyone knows me, knows I'm an atheist. I'm a skeptic.
Right?
I, I don't dabble in this stuff. I'm not. You're not going to hear me talk about aliens and cryptids and all that bullshit. Like I
Right?
don't. That's not my jam. But I'm kind of forced to because of that experience I had, which we kind of DM'd about. But now I'm kind of like,
Right?
huh. Oh, I'm living in Appalachia now, and it's kind of weird here. I don't really know what's going
Oh
on.
yeah. Oh yeah. You'll see that we're extremely superstitious people up here. Even like like you go back to like let's say like just mostly it's the Scotch Irish, right? That settled this area, and they brought all of their superstitions with them. Like the Tuatha De Danann, the fairies and stuff like that. Which, like, when you say fairies, immediately people think of Tinkerbell and Disney and all that crap. But no, this is some scary, scary crap.
It's like the Icelandic version of fairies, right? Not welcoming at all, not cute, not fun.
Yeah, yeah. Like that one minute they might try to help you, and the next they'll try to steal your kid and drown them in a lake. So it's
Fun.
messed up, man. But yeah, like a long time ago, like people like I know you've seen like in shows where people like have horseshoes above the doors.
Hmm.
Well, the reason for that was is because fairies are allergic to iron, and you
Is
would have to.
that hold on a second. Is
Uh
that
huh.
why they use railroad spikes?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, you just connected something for me. So my kids are
Exactly.
kind of into this stuff, and when after that stuff happened at our place, they were like, they
Mm,
put like a railroad spike in front of our window and stuff. And
yeah.
I don't know what the hell they're talking. That's not my thing, but okay, it makes sense now. Interesting.
Yeah, yeah. So like people would like as they walked in the door, they would have to touch the iron thing.
Mm.
So like there's this one really well documented case in Ireland. Michael Cleary, I think is the way you pronounce his name. He actually killed his wife because he thought that she was a doppelganger. He actually loved her. He was an
Oh,
actually loving husband. Like he really genuinely loved his wife. And he like she started acting weird after she had like the scarlet fever or something like that. And he thought that she was a doppelganger. Like he thought that she had been replaced. And I'm
man,
like,
can you imagine how like serious you would have to be or convinced you would have to be to actually do that? I'm trying to like put
yeah,
myself in my that position. If my
yeah.
wife started acting crazy all of a sudden, it's like I'm not so sure I would start pulling the trigger there.
But yeah, like one of the ways is they had to figure out the fairy's name in order to make them return their loved one, which like they had to torture them sometimes, which is messed up. Like it's just like a lot of that needs to stay buried in history. Like we don't need to live like that today, but holy shit. But yeah, man, like so like I've had some experiences I'll tell stories about here in a little bit, but let's hear about yours if you want to hear, but if you want to tell about it if you're
Yeah, yeah,
comfortable
I've
doing
already
that.
told about it on my show. I think it was talking to Jake Day about this, and
Mhm.
it's super weird because it coincided with the night that the war with Iran started.
Right.
And I got woken up out of a dead sleep, and I usually don't. Most time I sleep through the night. Was
Mhm.
completely awake out of a dead sleep at 3:33 in the morning. I looked
Mhm.
at my phone. I woke up, and I was like, "Huh." Immediately, I'm like, "That's weird." And then
Mhm.
I just went to go. I saw the notifications, and I checked Twitter, and it's like, "Oh, the United States is blowing up Iran. Oh, great! Like this is wonderful." It's like, "Oh, I got to pee."
Exactly what we were promised he wouldn't do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Well, that's for
Mhm.
that's anyone who believed him leading up to the election, just like LOL, guys. Like I tried to tell you, but anyway, I won't
Yeah.
too many victory laps on that. But anyway, I walked in the bathroom door. It's adjacent to the bedroom, and I kind of went to go pee, and I was like, just walking by this window. It's right over our bathtub. It's frosted glass. Nothing, no lights are on. It's totally dark inside the house, but there's this sort of like moonlit backdrop coming through. I thought I saw a figure, but I was like, oh, I'm still kind of groggy, whatever. And so it dumped and I turn back around. I start walking out, and I stop in front of this window, and it's a big picture window. And there's a figure, and it's standing maybe a foot, maybe foot and a half away from the glass. And it had this long ass head. I'm talking like vertically, like it was narrow and tall, and it must have been 2.5 feet tall. It was so crazy tall. It was so slim, and I could see shoulders, and the shoulders were maybe 10 inches, maybe a foot wide.
Damn.
Humanoid. And then I'm thinking, and I said, I'm a skeptic. So I do all the troubleshooting. I'm instantly like, okay, so my neighbor's house is here. And I knew that they were working on installing a screened porch on their back patio here in the South. That's a huge thing. Yeah. So like, did they put some lumber weird? Am I seeing a shadow? And I'm going through all the things. And as I'm going through my troubleshooting process, I'm looking at this thing, and I'm noticing that it's slightly moving side to side, the way just somebody standing there would. It wasn't completely static. And I was like, so like my temperature starts rising, like, oh, this is fucking weird. What is that? And as I continue to stare, then I'm starting to notice that the head is turning this way, right? And I can see the profile. It's like the head is tall, but it goes back. There's depth to it. And I can see the depth as it's sort of like moving its head a little bit. And I was just like, it's this weird thing, because you hear these stories, and then you read the stories of these people, and like you're almost like people in the movie theater. You're screaming at the movie screen, like, what the fuck is wrong with you? What are you doing? Yeah. In retrospect, I'm looking at myself, and I'm frozen. I'm just looking at this thing, and I'm confused, and I'm kind of scared, and I'm like all this conflicting stuff. And eventually I just like, oh, this thing isn't moving. And I had the thought, like, well, I should go outside and check. And then instantly, like, no, I shouldn't. No. I just slunk out of the room, and I sort of like closed the door, and I kept it like a crack, and I started peeking through just to watch it for a while. I sat for 3-4 minutes. I'm just watching this thing, and it's just standing there. It's just fucking standing there. And it's hard to explain how unnerving it is. Oh yeah. To see, like I said, something is biological, is some sort of entity, humanoid, and it's right there, maybe 5 feet from me, and it's moving, and it's like it completely freaked me out. So I 3-4 minutes, it's just not going anywhere. So I'm like, well, I guess I'm going somewhere. And I clicked the door shut, scrolled Twitter a little bit, got caught up on the war, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna check and see if that fucking thing's still there. And open the door, and it's gone. It was completely gone. Wow. It was, and to this day, like I have no clue what the hell this was. But I do have an update for you, Travis.
What's up?
So this is not the end of it in our house.
Really?
Yeah. This is where it gets weird. So one night, I'm getting ready for bed. Must have been 10:30 at night, maybe. And I'm just laying there trying to go to sleep. And all of a sudden, in my bathroom, I hear, and like the window, if you're facing the bathroom door to open it, like the window would be on the left, and my mirror and like sink would be on the right. I heard on the right side, above like the sink and mirror on the drywall, a distinct sound of like fingers tapping, like hard, like aggressively, like 9, 10, 12 times, like really, really obvious tapping. And I was like, that's fucking weird. And I just kind of like, you know the rules in Appalachia. It's like, you heard something, no, you didn't.
Yeah, exactly. Like, people think we're kidding about that. Like you see me shit posting to the ATF, and I'll be like, we're more scared of the fucking wildlife than we are of you. Like, like if I was you, being a lifelong Appalachian, right? Like if I had that happen, I would have been that guy with his shower gun firing out the window. Because like, I don't care if you're a crackhead. I don't care if you're an ATF agent or if you're some demon from the Nether realms. Ain't nobody a badass with a 3-inch slug in their chest. Man.
Anyway, so this happens like 3-4 times, to the point where it's like I'm sitting there like, I can't ignore this anymore. This is serious. This is so loud. What the hell's going on? Oh, I lost you. Where'd you go, Travis?
Oh, Looks
Up
like
there, yeah.
I think, yeah, wow. Apparently the NSA is watching now.
Yeah, guess so. Got their attention.
Hi
Oh,
guys.
so anyway, I hear this again, and I'm like, I got to check it out. And so I open the door, and I just pulled the Band-Aid off, turn the lights on. I'm looking in, like, absolutely nothing.
Right.
But then I hear like the laundry room is sort of adjacent to my back closet, like where the bathroom is and stuff. And I'm hearing
Right.
some shuffling in there, people
Mhm.
opening and closing the dryer door, and like somebody's clearly in there.
Mhm.
And I'm thinking, that doesn't sound at all like what I heard, but
Right.
and I'm rationalizing this thing, and I'm like, oh, what?
Mhm.
That's very, very weird. And so I walk out of my bedroom, and as I'm walking out, my middle daughter, who's like 22, comes rolling out of the laundry room with a laundry basket under her arm and
Mhm.
eyes as big as saucers.
Mhm.
And she's like, "Did you hear that too?" And I was like, "Yeah, I heard that too." Apparently, what she
Uh,
was coming down the stairs originally is when the
uh-huh.
first time it happened, and she heard it knocking on the other side of the wall. And the only thing that's between her, that on the other side of that wall is the mirror in my bathroom. There's nothing there. And
Right.
she said she heard it loud as day right by her head as she was
Uh-huh.
walking down the stairs.
Oh wow.
So like that's happened, and there's a bunch of other stuff's been happening too. People
So,
upstairs have been hearing stuff knocking. The guy that lives in the bedroom, the front of the house, he's heard knocking on the brick on the front. Like it's just happening now.
right. Yeah. So is it an older house? Does it have like
It
the
is
hollow
not.
walls? Okay.
It is not an
New
older
house.
house. It's a new house. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Because I was thinking like, man, because like that could be a possum because possums do that. They'll get in your walls and go, you know, and
There ain't no
it'll just be
possum,
really
brother.
annoying. I hear you. Damn. All right. It's like I'm not an atheist by any chance, by any stretch of the imagination, or even agnostic. Like I'm a million percent a believer, but like I still try to disprove things because like even if you take cases of like exorcisms with the Holy See and all that, like they're immediately trying to make sure this isn't some kind of psychotic break or something like that. Like the Pope's exorcist goes into that, and like he's like, oh well, this person just needs a psychiatrist. This is not a demon or anything. And but yeah, man, like I've had some crazy stuff. Like I was camping alone one night. And this is going to sound like the dumbest story in the world, but it was like I was heavily armed, so I wasn't super scared, but I was very unnerved. Like if you're in the woods sometimes, right? Like the woods will just go dead silent, like they're afraid to breathe. Like the bugs stop, the birds, whatever, all of it just stops and just goes dead silent, right? I was at my camp. I had my fire going. I had my tent popped up and everything, sleeping bag rolled out, 12 gauge shotgun, drum mag, all that, right? So, like, if an elephant comes at me, that elephant's gone. Okay. But the forest just goes dead silent, just crickets, not even crickets.
Oh, and by the
And
way, just for those who are not aware of what it's like in the South, it is
mhm,
loud. The forest is
yeah,
fucking loud.
yeah, yeah. And the forest just it's like the forest just gets afraid to breathe sometimes, and it's weird. It's so weird, and like nobody has an explanation for it because you're talking about millions of creatures, millions of
Hmm.
bugs, and then just dead silent, right? Well, I smell this awful, just smell like it's going to knock you over. Okay, still not hearing anything, still not seeing anything. Darkness, campfire, tent. That's it. And the smell, it's like the smell is moving around my camp, coming from different directions. And then after about 10 minutes, it just fades and goes away. I saw nothing. I heard nothing, not even a stick break. Okay. Awful, awful smell, like a dead body or something, right? And then the forest finally starts making noise again. Screw that, dude.
Nope. Big fat nope for me, dog.
But I was like a mile back in the woods, so I'm not breaking camp at like 2:30 in the morning. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, like, whew, yeah, that was that still gives me like chills whenever I think about it. But like another one, like, and this one was more like benign. Like I was driving down the road over in Austinville, right? And there's like this bend before the hill of the old Austinville school, right before you get to the lead mines, something runs across the road. I see it for like maybe 2 seconds. And it is way too big to be a dog, way too like, and it's way too small to be a bear. But it looks like it's like some kind of like werewolf type thing. And I think it's Dogman. I think I genuinely saw
I
Dogman.
don't know what Dogman is. Can you help us out? Like
Okay, yeah, okay. So Dogman is like an old Native American legend. Like he's not exactly a werewolf, but he's like like the Algonquin believe in him, the Navajo believe in him. Like, of course, this is like the Algonquin and Navajo really didn't have any contact with each other. So, like, for them to have the same legend, that speaks volumes to me, right? Well, Dogman, like, he's only aggressive if you try to harm the land. Otherwise, he's just going to leave you alone. Like, think the Lorax, but werewolf.
just
So,
meaner, not as cute.
yeah. Yeah, pretty much. But like if you're just being a shithead cutting down trees that you don't need and stuff like that, and he finds out about it, you're kind of done and you're just gonna disappear. Because like if you look at the missing 411 cases, I forget the dude's name that does that, but anyway, he's on Twitter, and if you look at just a heat map of the missing 411 cases, it almost like most of them track the New River Trail, like the Appalachian Trail that goes up the spine of the Appalachian Mountains. So there's some like serious creepy shit going on here, and like that's one of the biggest reasons we're so heavily armed. Is like we're just not gonna have it, you know?
Yeah, you gotta go down shooting, man.
Yeah, for real. But yeah, man, like I can't even begin to think what you had seen though. Like man, I know I've heard of like the shadow people with Stephen Hawking, like even he talks about that, like interdimensional type things. But like most cryptids, I kind of sit back and I'm like, oh, that's bullshit. But then you have those real like hair raising moments, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and that was one of them, man. And I don't have any sort of stable of ghost stories or any of that stuff in my history.
Hmm.
I'm not that way inclined. I've always disbelieved it.
Yeah.
Not focus any of my time in it. I actually get annoyed. I've got people trying to pull me into these conversations on the show before, and I'm kind of like, I'm the bad guest for this. Like, this is not my thing, dude. I don't know anything about any of this. But I'm like,
That's amazing.
now once you have that experience, like, oh shit, there's actually something going on. That's wild.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like it's I think it's I think it's a little foolish to assume we know everything about nature. Because I mean, like, what we just discovered the Higgs boson in 2012, right? Like, and that's a huge freaking deal, you know.
Yep.
It's like discovering gravity, you know. But it's just, but man, like they're like these mountains. If you look at just the way that they're built, like the sedimentary layers, like if you go to like a big lake or something, you see like all the rocks, you can count back like 400 and 500 million years just in one rock face. And it's crazy. So like there could be creatures that have been above the ocean for hundreds of millions of years that are just very good at remaining undetected, you know?
Yeah, totally. I have an easier time with that with the oceans. I think the oceans are so vast and deep, and we've explored like none of them. I have an easier time believing in that. I think when it comes on land, it gets a little sketchy for me because I always think like there's going to be somebody that finds something. If there's any sort of population of actual biological creatures, like you're going to find some
Right.
bones, you're going to find some evidence of these things somewhere. It's hard to have have things in the ecosystem that's so densely populated like we
Right.
are. All the people
Mhm.
that are going out in the forest all the time, hunters. I have a hard time believing it. I'm not taking it off the table, but for me, I'm always kind of like, maybe there's something going on, but I'm not convinced yet.
I feel you, man. I mean, and that's honestly the most intelligent way to go about it, because like you know you weren't on drugs, but you know you saw something you can't explain. So
Correct. And I just will caveat it with like I don't know, and I'm comfortable saying I don't know. I'm
yeah,
just like something beyond, but it was something that I definitely was not human. I know that this is something else, and other than somebody like playing an elaborate ruse on me, which is always a possibility, although pretty small possibility. I don't really know
there's
anybody here who'd want to do this.
There's a pretty small possibility of that because most people around here know that you can and will get shot if you're caught at somebody's
Correct.
house.
Correct. You don't
Like,
fool around in somebody's backyard in Tennessee, man. You're gonna get shot. Like
yeah, yeah,
and the cops aren't gonna do a damn thing for you. They're gonna say thank you, sir, and like you're done.
yeah, yeah. Like there was this one guy. He went to my uncle's property. Oh, and we got Grumpy and we got Free in chat. What are you guys up to?
Yeah, what's up, guys?
Yeah, everybody go follow Free and Grumpy.
Hell yeah.
So like my uncle had this one guy, and this was not a cryptid. This is like this dude. He was on drugs or something like that. He goes to my uncle's property, right? My uncle makes me look like a gun-free libtard. Okay,
Oh wow.
so yeah, yeah. So like you're talking about walking into freaking Fort Knox or something, right? Like, and this dude just goes like, and there's no excuse for him to be there because you have to take one road, then you have to take another road, and then there's this 2 mile long dirt road winding through the woods. So for him to be on my uncle's property is like, are you trying to die?
Death
You know?
wish.
Well, anyway, the state troopers come out there, right? And like my uncle like realizes he's not an immediate threat, so he doesn't shoot him, which if you ask anybody who's skilled in violence, that's the last thing they're going to resort to because they don't want to deal with it, you know. But like anyway, my uncle, he calls the state police come out there, run the guy off. This same guy goes up to West Virginia and starts his crap, right? The West Virginia State Police shoot him off of a cliff and leave him there for 3
Oh,
days because they can't get the equipment to get down in there and get his body.
damn.
Yeah. Yeah, so props to the West Virginia State Police, man. You guys are hardcore. But like yeah, like one thing I wanted to like I went through and got here was a list of cryptids, and this is a pretty common argument in like the cryptozoology space is there is this list of animals that we know today that are real and we've proven they're real, but they used to be considered mythological and cryptids, right? So just going through this list, panda bears, who knew, right? So for thousands of years, the Chinese had drawings of these things. They had like even the skins because they would hunt them and they'd go out. But like Europeans thought, oh, this is just cultural nonsense. They're not real. Turns out they're real. They were first discovered in 1869 by Europeans and documented. Giraffes, believe it or not. I mean, that looks like you would think like, oh, long neck, obviously not real, right?
Well, that's surprising. I didn't think they were real because, like, the giraffes on the savannah, they stick out like a sore thumb, right? Like, they're this pretty sparsely vegetated, area. It's kind
Yeah,
of
yeah,
arid. There's these trees and like in this big ass neck. Like, I would be surprised that people would like
yeah.
doubt their
But I
existence.
mean, like Africa's like super huge. Like
That is true.
Europeans didn't walk all of it for very long. Like the Okapia is like the legend from the Congo, and it was only confirmed in 1901 that giraffes were real. Let's see, the coelacanth. Now that is a
Oh,
large arm. Yeah, yeah.
it's a
So that
fish.
was
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, a large armored fish thought to be extinct for over 400 million years. We're catching them now. We know where to find them. The Komodo dragon. Now that one, I would believe it was a cryptid because like the venomous bite that it just bites you and waits for you to die type
Yep.
thing, right? Like it's only like a handful of islands out in the Pacific South, right? The giant squid. That's something that's happened just in mine and your lifetime.
Yep.
Like we finally got proof that the giant squid exists, right? And then the platypus. This one was fun. I didn't actually think that this one would have been a cryptid, but uh, it was the first preserved specimen reached Europe in the late 1700s. Scientists thought it was a hoax. A sewn together duck, beaver, otter. Its duckbill, web feet, egg laying mammals aren't supposed to be a thing, right? Venomous spurs defied classification. Aboriginal Australians knew about it. They knew it was a real animal and it was in their Dreamtime stories, which is like their creation myth, right? But outsiders deeply skeptical until live observations in anatomy confirmed it was a unique monotreme mammal. And then, of course, narwhals and kangaroos as well on that list. But yeah, like it's just we definitely don't know everything about nature, but like up here in the mountains, like if you're here for very long, you realize there's a lot of caves, like so many, and these creatures could easily be just darting back to that, you know.
Yeah, it's definitely possible, and I also think you raise an important point, which is
Mhm.
this sort of, Eurocentric knowledge base. Like,
Mhm.
it's only determined to be real if, the Europeans say it's real. I think there's a lot
Right.
of native, and I think, Appalachia's that way too. Appalachia kinda has
Mhm.
this native knowledge base that's, passed down from generation to generation. Some of it's
Oh yeah.
bullshit, some of it's myth, some of it's probably real.
Mhm.
But I think there's a lot of knowledge that is held in these indigenous communities. Like you go to
Mhm.
South America. Have you heard about the stories about ayahuasca?
I have, but I've never tried it. Fill me in.
Well, yeah, I haven't tried either. I want to go.
Oh.
That's on my bucket list. But essentially, the story that first of all, let me explain what it is. So it's the it's the
Mhm.
the vine of one plant, and it's the
Mhm.
leaves of another plant, and
Mhm.
they don't grow anywhere remotely in the same place. They
Oh
grow
wow.
completely in separate areas, and you have to take them and put them in the same pot together and boil it down into a tea. And essentially the leaves contain no sorry the chacruna vine contains DMT, and the leaves contain a monoamine oxidase inhibitor. And what that
Dang.
does is that the MAOI stops your gut from breaking down the DMT, because DMT, I'm not sure
Mhm.
if anyone's aware, it's in everything. It's literally in all
Yeah.
these plants, but our gut breaks it down so it's not psychoactive.
Okay.
And so, but if you do this, and you get those leaves, and the root, or sorry, the vines turn into a tea, then you trip your balls off for like hours and hours, right? It's
Mhm.
very powerful psychedelic. But if you ask the indigenous people how they learned to do this, they said the plants told them.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
and Europeans are like, no, dog, that's not an appropriate answer. But
Right.
there's a
Right.
lot of that stuff. You kinda gotta wonder, like, how this sort of, this knowledge kinda bubbles up from the earth and gets encapsulated in story and myth and, passed down from generation orally. I think there's a lot of that stuff where I kinda give it credence, even being a skeptic, being an atheist,
Oh
or
yeah.
I would say this, I'm an agnostic.
Mhm.
You brought up that word earlier. When I say
Right. Right.
agnostic, there's a technical
Right.
term. So it means, my claim is that it's an unknowable question.
Well,
Whether God
even like the big names in atheism, like Richard Dawkins, he even has like a 1 through 7 scale in the God delusion. Like the 7 is like there's no God, and then like a 6 is like you don't think there's a God, and like he's like I'm a 6. So,
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I believe, honestly, everyone's position, if you're intellectually honest, has to be
mhm,
agnostic. I think that you
right.
can be an agnostic atheist, and I think you could be an
Hmm.
agnostic theist. You can be an agnostic deist. It just means you
Hmm.
don't know. It's a, epistemological question. It's a question of
Hmm.
knowledge. Can you actually know? And my claim
Hmm.
is you can't know. You can believe, right? You can look at
Hmm.
all the evidence, and you can believe one way or the other. And I fall on the I don't believe in a particular God, but I am agnostic to the question,
Right.
and I'm open to it, if that makes
Right.
sense. And
Oh yeah.
actually, honestly, I've talked about this a lot on the show. My
Hmm.
psychedelic experiences have opened my mind in that direction, to the point where I'm just like,
Hmm.
whoa. It's kind of like the ET experience I had, or whatever. It's like it opened my mind. It's like, whoa, something's going on. I don't know what it is. I'm not
Right.
making any claims. I don't believe the traditions, all the religious traditions, I think, are wrong. I think it's just an
Hmm.
attempt that people make to make sense
Hmm.
out of the transcendent, the spiritual realm,
Right.
which I don't understand it. I don't have any strong claims I'm making. I'm just kind of like, I
Hmm.
don't believe anybody. I think everybody
Hmm.
gets it wrong, but I'm kind of open minded. And part of this podcast has been a journey and kind of like exploring that, kind of be open
I
minded,
feel you.
ask questions, and because I feel like none of us have all the pieces of the puzzle. We got to talk about it and try to figure it out. It's like the biggest question imaginable. So anyway, I don't. Sorry for the
It's really
detour, but
the
that's.
no, that's this is my favorite subject. Like I love talking about this, especially with people who have different points of view. Like you could sit around a church all day long and be like, "Yeah, I think this," and everybody be like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah." But then you can get like a really engaging conversation, like you know, like I would consider myself a 1 on Dawkins scale. Like I know there's a God. Like because
Mm,
I've had all kinds of like experiences, right? Like dreams and stuff like that. Like things that like and then like when you hear about somebody with like luck, right? Like you hear somebody, oh, he's really lucky, right? Dude, like here's normal people saying they have good luck, and here's me saying I have good luck. Like I have luck that scares me. Like we're talking like life or death situations and just I'm fine. Like things that should have killed me, things that should have just been just splatter me on the road. Nobody ever knows I exist. I'm basically a possum rotting in the wind, right? Like we're like in Africa when I was on a mission trip, right? We had this crazy thunderstorm. Like if like Johannesburg's like 50, almost like 5,000 feet. It's like the same height as Denver, right? And but it's all flat. Like there's nothing to stop the weather. So these just apocalyptic thunderstorms come running in and doing whatever the heck they want, right? And it floods out the roads. We're in the lower camp of Kaya Sands, right? Which is like a squatter camp for like all the like illegal immigrants, I guess you could say, but they're not treated like illegal immigrants. It's a little weird, but anyway,
Oh, you're gone again.
the NSA got bored. The
Quit
NSA
messing
got
with us,
bored.
guys.
Yep. I'll get them back here in a minute. I don't have a filter, but yeah. Anyway, like so, like this crazy flooding comes through. River is gray water. Like if you touch it at all, they make you go wash all of your clothes and your skin for like 30 minutes straight because it's that polluted.
Wow.
And there's this massive tree laid over the thing, right? Slippery. It's been raining like crazy. Somehow, me and all the people are able to walk across that tree like it's nothing, and nobody slips and dies. And but like raging water beneath, like it's a 30-foot fall, raging waters. If I'd have slipped, I'd have died. Now, sure, that could easily be left a chance, but like it's crazy. Like I have like so many stories about like
well, I hate to be that guy, but okay.
Mhm.
So Travis has got great luck, but what about the little kid, little baby that gets cancer, and those kids over
Yeah.
there in Iran,
Mhm.
they're getting blown to bits, in the middle of the
Yeah.
night, and all there's obviously that's not everyone's experience, right?
Mhm.
So how do you sort of like, or it's not really like a pushback on that piece
Mhm.
of it. I'm just kind of like,
Right.
how does that tie into your belief about a particular, not only that does a God exist, but the particular
Mhm.
one and a particular faith and a particular way of believing is correct? Like how does that stitch together?
So for me, I mean, we're living in a fallen world, like it is corrupted to the core with, sin and just evil. And to it, and God seems absolutely 100% dedicated to free will, like to the point where he will not take a hand in anything, like in order to like make sure that we have the best possible chance to have our own choices. Because like if you're a being like that, right? Like even in like let's say Exodus, like he wouldn't even show his face to Moses because it
Mhm.
would kill him. You know what I mean? So like if you're a being of that immense power, like our free will would melt in an instant looking at that kind of a being, right? So he seems dedicated to free will. That's what I'm thinking. Sure, horrible evil things happen, but it's people doing those horrible evil things, right?
But if
And
he's
it's just
sorry to interrupt, but if he's
Mhm,
dedicated to free will and not intervening,
mhm.
doesn't that mean he's not intervening on your behalf with respect to luck or guiding, answering prayers, or
Well,
intervening
see,
in that way?
yeah, yeah, and circling back to what you said, I mean, it's a confusing subject, but like in my own personal belief, like I genuinely know there's a God, right? But like that's my stance, and I'm not trying to convert anybody. I'm not trying to preach or anything. I know people don't like that crap, but
No, I'm
like
asking the question, so
oh,
please.
I feel you, man. I feel you, brother. But yeah, like I mean, you've got excellent points. Like obviously there is just horrible evil suffering in the world, right? Like when I was in Africa, I saw the I don't know if you know what the tsetse fly is, but
Yes.
it's
Oh my gosh,
okay.
yes.
So their kids, they have to put nets over them because if it bites their eyes, it will lay eggs in their eyes, and then it will eat its way out as it matures and blind the
Ugh.
child. And I saw a couple of cases of that, and it's freaking tragic. It'll rip your freaking heart out. Like, and these are just innocent little kids just sitting there, like their babies don't even cry over there. It's a little weird. Like they're not even noisy. They just sit there and watch. And I'm just like, wow, like there's zero colic. I don't know why, but like it's weird. But like, obviously it's right to be angry about a fly that lays eggs in a human's eyes and then blinds them, right? But there's just something about I don't know. This world seems to be some kind of constructed test. Like, what are you going to
Hmm.
do when you're dropped into almost hell on earth? Are you going to try to make it better? Or are you going to try to make it worse? And a lot of people, unfortunately, try to make it worse, like starting World War III in Iran. But
Or the whole Epstein thing, like it's
yeah,
just
yeah, all that whole
nothing
thing with
deep, dark, and evil about that.
yeah, especially with like his email, like making fun of the little girl that was praying to Jesus for help. And I'm just like, wow, like just like, can you imagine saying something like that in private, let alone an email that's going to be recorded?
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
and that's the thing is, like, I'm not religious at all, and that whole email exchange just made me sick to my stomach, not, like I said, because it's true or false or whatever, just because
right.
that girl in that moment
Mhm,
is crying out for protection, to the
mhm.
deity that she believes in, and just to, like, mock and denigrate that as part of, like, the humiliation ritual, and just to
Yeah,
get
yeah.
joy in watching somebody's hopes get dashed, and, like, it's just like, oh, it's like, it's just creepy, man, it's gross.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really say too much about that mentality because, like, heavily censored and all that. But I mean, you can go into like huge historical examples of things like that happening. And then when they finally get the punishment they deserve, oh, we're the victim. It's pretty dumb. But yeah, like, obviously there's been evil people within the church and stuff like that. Like you talk about like Pope Rodrigo Borgia, like he pretty sure he was molesting his daughter, like it was evil stuff, but like there's also good ones, like trying to think, like the one that embraced lepers. There's so many popes. Anyway, I'm not going to be able to remember
There's
his.
a pope that embraced lepers?
Yeah, yeah, he was famous for that. It
Hmm,
was like he wanted to like show them comfort in their torment. And I mean, I think that's what life's about. Like, are we gonna be that guy who tries to make it just a little better, or are we gonna be the guy who makes it way worse? And
man.
unfortunately,
Yeah,
and I think nature's simple. Most things in nature are actually like goo goo gaga simple, and that's the simplest explanation I can come up with.
Yeah, man, that's really great. That's, really the whole ethos of my podcast, right? Like,
Right.
it's aiming up. It literally means like, "Hey, man,
Hmm.
just you don't have to be a whole bunch, just a little
Hmm.
bit. Just
Yeah.
improve just a tiny bit every day. Make every interaction, whether you think
Even
that."
just not adding to the misery, that's
Yeah,
an accomplishment.
yeah, if you just not make stuff worse, that's a win, but,
Hmm.
like, even if you can just, be just a little bit better in some dimension, and every because people they forget about this. They think that they have to do these grand gestures. I have to
Hmm.
change the world in some magnificent, huge way, and that's not what it's
Hmm.
about. It's about these micro every little thing you do, every conversation you have with somebody, every time
Hmm.
you can maybe you're stressed at work and you come home
Hmm.
and, you snap at your kid or whatever, like, you can choose to do that, or you can,
Right.
be kind, or at least not be an asshole. Like, just the fact that you're minding those tiny
Hmm.
interactions, you think that they're important,
Hmm.
that whole changes your whole outlook on things. Like, I think a lot of people are on
Right.
autopilot. A lot of people are driven by
Hmm.
how they feel at the time. They're not really thinking
Hmm.
about it. They're not connected. They're distracted. They're on their phones. Their brain is somewhere else. And that's a huge problem if we want to get better as a society. And I think it's contributed to why we've gotten worse. And because
Oh yeah.
society just does. I said I'm not a moralist. I'm not somebody who's going to finger wag people, but I'm
Hmm.
looking as an atheist at the society. I'm like, this is gross. Like,
Oh
what
yeah.
y'all are doing is messed up. This is not good. It's like, you need Jesus, man. Like stop it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. An atheist saying you need
Yeah.
Jesus. I love it. Like I mean, like I think a big thing too is like you can tell indirectly, like trying to think of the right words here, but like if like okay, back to the parable of the fig tree, right? Like you can tell somebody's beliefs have value based on their effect on the world. Like, do they passively make the world a better or worse place? And all these Zionists blowing up kids and stuff like that, they're making the world a worse place. Now, there's definitely radical Muslims who are making the world. I'm not taking a side on that one. Like, the radical Muslims, they're definitely making the world a worse place too. But it's just, I
I would
don't
say
know.
in some ways for sure. I think a lot of it is
Mhm.
hyperbolic and overblown. I think it's very
Yeah.
easy to scare Westerners with the
Yeah.
specter of the Islamist. But,
Mhm.
like, I've traveled the whole world, man. Everyone who follows me knows, like, I've got a job that's taking me all around the world, and I meet
Right.
these people, like,
Mhm.
it's not
Oh
what you
yeah.
think it is, Like, most of the people, even if they've got latent beliefs that we find
Mhm.
abhorrent, right? Almost
Mhm.
all of them don't act on it. There billions of Muslims in the world, they don't act
Mhm.
on this stuff, even if they're like,
Well.
"I might be aligned with this," and I think a lot of it
Mhm.
on their side is kind of in reverse of the way the United States felt after 9/11. All that
Right.
Islamic hatred that sort of bubbled up after
Mhm.
9/11, and we
Mhm.
think we all know that was, brought about by
Yeah.
America's own misdeeds, right? But they feel the same way
Mhm.
about America, and they feel the same way about Israel in particular. And I think
Mhm.
it's on display why. Like, I understand why they
Yeah.
would get those. Okay, every religion has got archaic and brutal beliefs, right? In its history,
Right.
right? And I think
Mhm.
Islam has failed to update a little bit. So I
Mhm.
think there's a latent sort of acceptance of those type of beliefs. But like I said, most
Mhm.
people are just not doing anything about it. They might have this inclination or might believe their scripture, but they're not going to strap a bomb vest on and do anything. But
Right.
I think this what Israel is doing in the world, what the United States is doing in the world, it emboldens those who are true believers, right? The ones that are the jihadis that are,
Mhm.
and they believe they're doing the right thing. They're,
Right.
going out and doing what they think the will of Allah is. And
Right.
I think that's a tough problem. And I think that until there's some sort of like mutual, backing down or failure to
Mhm.
escalate the situation, we got nothing
Mhm.
but uh, raise tensions on both sides. So I think that I see
Right.
you get my point. Like, I think it's a
I do.
similar
Yeah.
similar paradigm, but we don't like to put the shoe on the other foot. We don't like to put ourselves in the position of a
Right.
Muslim person and like,
Mhm.
how would I feel about a
Right.
Westerner,
Right.
right? I
Well.
think they're doing it more now. I think because it's gotten
Mhm.
so awful in Israel with the
Yeah.
Gaza situation, it's gotten so awful with Iran,
Mhm.
with them controlling our governments and funding pedophile
Right.
blackmail rings and all those things, right? Like,
Mhm.
so I don't know where I'm going with that, but I think the
Well, I
boogeyman
think
of the
you.
Islamist is not quite as
Mhm.
scary as people maybe think it is.
I think you've got a strong point there because, like a lot of people don't realize there's like just as many like sects and variations of Islam as there are in like Protestant Christianity.
Yep.
But like the big two are Sunni and Shia, and the Shias believe that it was Muhammad's cousin who was the prophet and not Muhammad, right? So naturally, from the start, they hate each other, right? Now, one of my close friends, his name's Muhammad. He's from Ireland. Go figure, right? Anyway, he's like a brother to me. I'd take a bullet for him. Like it's not that I don't like Muslims, but like there are some who are taking like the parts of the Quran that you mentioned, the brutal and barbaric ones. They're taking them seriously, and I think those people are a problem. But like if you go back in history, like the Ottoman Turks, like they were constantly expanding, right? That's where Vlad the Impaler got his
Hmm.
reputation because a lot of people don't realize like Vlad the Impaler, he learned all of that as a child slave to the Ottomans. Like he took their own trick and used it on them. And it's like, like he was strictly in self-defense. Like I genuinely believe the man's a Christian hero. Like he should be sainted, honestly. But like it's just, he's one of those like in history that won after being pushed too far, and then like, oh, he's the bad guy. You know what I mean? And naturally everybody thinks they're the good guy. It doesn't matter even if they're like this satanic p word cult. Like they have justifications for their beliefs, right? But it's just, that they in their own minds they have justifications for their beliefs, even though like sane and normal people like you and me would reject it, of course.
I
But
don't know, do they? And this is where I don't really know. I'm not super plugged into this, but the satanic cult people that like to do the
Mhm.
things with the kids and
Yeah, yeah,
sacrifice
evil.
human, like my understanding of that. Tell me if
Mhm.
I don't know a lot about this. My understanding is that
Mhm.
the idea behind it is that you're a bad guy. You don't think you're a
Mhm.
good guy. You're just like, I'm
Mhm.
going to be horribly evil and do these depraved
Mhm.
things as a sacrifice to
Mhm.
Satan or whatever. I don't know what it is, but and in exchange for doing that, I'm going to gain
Mhm.
power. And a lot of people believe that's what this endless war
Mhm.
is about. Is the people that run the
Right.
government are doing this stuff, like doing the things
Mhm.
with the kids, and then sending people over to die as a blood
Right.
sacrifice to
Mhm.
maintain power. So I don't know
Yeah.
what truth is in that or not, but that's my understanding of kind of the
So
idea.
there's a couple different types of Satanism, like the Anton LaVeys. They're like just really edgy atheists. Like if you read the Satanic Bible, I genuinely think it's the dumbest book I ever read in my life. And I'm paraphrasing here, but I'm basically quoting as well. We're atheists, but we occasionally cast magic and suspend our disbelief in order to uh, advance ourselves in life. And I'm like,
Hmm.
do words not mean anything to you? Like, and I'm just like, it's the dumbest thing in the world. Like, I mean,
Well,
like,
maybe
he's
not.
just
Let me
this.
steel man it for a second. There is
Okay.
this thing called the placebo effect, right? And
Right.
if
Right.
you trick yourself, if you're like, I don't really believe,
Hmm.
but I'm gonna,
Right.
going through that motion might
Hmm.
actually subconsciously result in some positive outcome for people.
Yeah.
Placebo and nocebo effects are insanely powerful. I don't think people realize how powerful they are. For example,
Hmm.
they did an experiment where they told participants that they were going to get a small burn. And so
Hmm.
they had this like red hot poker looking thing, and they were going
Hmm.
to put it on their arm, and they were supposed to develop a blister. And it was, I
Hmm.
can't remember what it was, the purpose of the study was, but essentially the poker was nothing but a light. There was no heat associated with it at all. But
Hmm.
but it did glow red and it looked like it was going to burn them. And they would put
Hmm.
they just touch the thing to the subject's arm, and
Hmm.
everybody got water blisters.
Really?
They felt pain and they got
Wow.
water blisters and they had redness and swelling and they thought that they had been actually burned. So that's how powerful it is. And so I would say in
Huh.
that situation, it's not out of the realm of possibility that by doing this magic, they're sort of sort of invoking this placebo effect
Right.
intentionally somehow to sort of try to alter some things in their life. That's what like the manifesting stuff is too. People that manifest, like I think a
Right.
lot of
Right.
this is just people hijacking the placebo effect.
That is an excellent point. I haven't really considered that. But yeah, like I don't know. I kind of view reality as objective. Like it doesn't matter what you believe. Like what's real is real. So maybe that's why I just outright reject things like that. But like, yeah, I've never really heard of that study though. That's interesting. Now I have heard of people with multiple personality disorders. Like their eye color will actually change between personalities.
Really? I did not
Yeah,
know that.
yeah. So I'm like, wow, like how do you even like how does that work, you know? But yeah, like Lauren says Surah 9:5. Yeah, that Surah 9:5 is talking about killing all the unbelievers and stuff like that. And it's just yeah, it gets to be a twisted book because like the Quran's written in two parts, right? You have what he said in Mecca, which sounds pretty good mostly, like to the point where like it's all like Sermon on the Mount type stuff. Everybody get along, everybody be treated as equals. But then when he's banished later to Medina, like then he just starts going like genocidal warlord stuff,
Mhm.
right? Well, there's like for any contradictions in the Quran, they're told that if one command contradicts another, you are to obey the later one because it is the better command. And I'm just sitting there like, how does a perfect being have a better idea? you know, so like you're either going to be perfect from the get go or you're going to be like, oh, I'm not changing my mind. Like it's
Yeah,
just, it gets weird, man. But,
it does, and this is where I think maybe the Christian-centric view has some blind
hmm
spots for people. Because I
hmm
think that, like, from my perspective, I look at both books, I'm like, "Hmm, it's a
hmm
pretty pretty ugly stuff in both. People are
Oh
very
yeah.
easily, oh, it's an evil book and this is a terrible thing. And then I go back to,
Mhm.
well, the Bible talks about your God commanding genocide and prescribes rules for how to treat your slaves and how to sell your, people to sexual slavery. So it's like, mm, there's some not great stuff in the Bible either.
Yeah, yeah. Like, yeah, I mean, I can't defend most of that because, like, a lot of like, if you look at the slavery tenets and stuff like that, like, they were allowed to sell themselves for periods of 7 years, which is like indentured servitude. Like, could they quit their job? No, but they had made a contract and they were expected to honor it, and then they were freed like every certain number of years, and then they could sell themselves again or what, like, and that is a type of slavery. Like, one of my favorite historians on here, illegitimate scholar, like, he likes to talk about how there's different types of slavery.
For
And
sure.
yeah, yeah, like if you talk, if you like, now this is me talking, not him, but like if you go to the sugar plantations in the 15 and 1600s in the Bahamas, like, they had to work like 12-hour days, and they had to grow their own food after that. And they weren't giving housing or anything like that. They were expected to come up with this much sugar on this day or they get killed. But they also had to grow their own food and do everything else. So I'm like, that's horrible, right? Like, wow. But then you go to like my hero Patrick Henry. He was a rabid abolitionist. Like, this man gave constant speeches about how slavery was evil, but he himself owned slaves. So how does that jive, right? Well, his slaves were paid a wage, they were educated, they were taught a trade, and he was making sure that when they were eventually freed, they could not only just be free, but they could maintain that freedom and maintain independence by having a trade, being able to read and write, things like that. So, like, slavery gets real deep real quick, like when you try to start talking about the different types. But then
For
there's the
sure, and there's nuance there for sure. I'm not trying to say
Mhm.
that there's not, but there's some
Right.
stuff that it seems pretty indefensible. Like there's a
Mhm.
passage that talks about what happens if your daughter gets
Mhm.
SA'd by or graped by somebody,
Yeah.
then you're
Mm.
forcing her to marry the person who
Mhm.
did that, and the person who did that has to give the father of that daughter
Yeah.
some silver. It's like, oh, that's really bad, guys. Like,
Yeah, and see, that's and like, I think that's a major pitfall in history is like we start judging ancient civilizations that didn't know any better, that didn't even know, like, that the sun was like a physical being 93 million miles away. We judge them by our morals today. Like, there is a shifting moral zeitgeist, and
oh, that's interesting. I haven't heard this from
like,
a Christian before.
oh yeah, yeah, like Frank Herbert goes into it in Dune. Like, he talks about like how, especially where, like, so if you like, the general government of the Dune universe is, there's the Landsrod, right? And they're like the Congress made up of all these lords and dukes and all that, of all these various different planets. There's millions of worlds, and each world has their own separate custom. Well, in one culture, an action might be morally reprehensible. People are calling for their head, but in that same exact action on a completely different planet could be a moral requirement, and they'll be calling you for your death if you don't do it. So, like, it's just, he's Dune is not really a sci-fi book. It's like a political science course of how human morality works, how governments actually work, and stuff like that. And it is just perfect. It's my favorite book. But
So that's
yeah, like,
interesting because I've always heard from most of the Christians
mhm,
I talk to that the Bible is
mhm,
the inerrant word of God. It's perfect, it's
mhm,
unchanging,
mhm,
and it is a moral guide for us. Right? This
mhm,
is what we use to know good from evil, right from wrong, et cetera, et cetera.
mhm,
And that's where I get hung up a little bit because I'm like,
mhm,
okay, if that's true, and good
mhm,
and evil don't change over time,
mhm,
morals do. Like I think there's a difference
mhm,
between ethics and morals. People don't
mhm,
get ethics are things that people can't do to
mhm.
you. There's things that people can't do to you, right? They can't kill you, they
Right.
can't murder you, they can't there's this list of prohibitions, right? It's
Right.
neatly lines up with the non-aggression principle, right? These
Mhm.
are ethical strictures, and then morals are more of like what's good to do, right? Like you ought to do these are things that or maybe ought not, like you ought not do X, Y, and Z, but it doesn't rise to the level of ethics, right?
Right.
And so that's kind of the way I conceptualize it. But I've always felt that most Christians I've talked to have a very rigid view of it, that it's like it's unchanging, like God is perfect and knows the beginning from the end and lays out for us the way we ought to behave, and those tenets and strictures are encapsulated in the scripture, right? And we have to like abide by those. So it's interesting to hear you say that there's like the shifting landscape. I haven't heard that before.
Within the minds of humans, that's what I mean. But like the way I've come to think of it is based on natural law. Which actions does nature reward and which actions does nature punish? So like, and we're talking like hard coded stuff. Even if you're in even if you believe in simulation theory, we're talking about hard coded things within nature itself. We are a part of nature, no matter how we delude ourselves in thinking that we're not. So I believe that traditional right-wing values generate life, wealth, and security. If anything in like left-wing values, they do nothing but erode those things. They erode life, wealth, and security. Life, 60 million babies have been killed in the last 50 something years, right? Wealth, socialism, pissing it away, giving it to everybody. Everybody's equally poor, right? Security, taking away our guns, like that Bangladeshi piece of crap in Richmond right now. But yeah, like those left wing beliefs are objectively incorrect based on natural law. That's what I believe, because I think that if God indeed created nature, then He has instilled His will into nature. Does that make sense?
It kind of does, except for when you look at it from a natural perspective, you would be confronted with the standard atheist or evolutionist perspective, which is yes, okay. Where did we go?
I think we're back. Okay,
there we are. All right, cool. Anyway,
I think we're back.
Anyway, yeah, I see we're live on the stream there. So I would say like there's a lot of things that we've evolved which naturally benefit us that are just terrible, right? Like there's a lot of us are here because of non-consensual actions, right? Like that is something that is an involved behavior, right? That we've had to. That's a purpose of ethics and the purpose of morals developing, is to be like, this maybe be good for procreation, but no, don't do that. That's So I don't know how you sort of reconcile that, because I feel like the left-right thing is interesting. It seems like it's a step or two above the base level biology. But I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm fully tracking that just yet, particularly in today's society, right? Like I'm listening to you explain these things, and it's like, well, there's no left and right.
Yeah.
We have like, left and lefter at this moment in the United States.
Pretty much, yeah. You're right. I mean, you're 100% right. Like as far as reconciling things, like I've gotten really comfortable with what's called retard maxing. Like I know that I'm retarded, and I know that I don't have all the answers, but this is just the best of what I've got right now. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I'm
totally.
doing my best. You know.
Did you see that post from Mark Anderson?
Oh,
yeah, it was funny. He did the whole post on retard maxing. I haven't heard that until recently, but I'm like, yeah, I do that naturally. That's funny.
Yeah, I first heard that from that channel called Tom Foe. He's got a smaller account on X, but he's like huge on YouTube. But anyway, like that kid, like he sounds like he's like 22, but that dude is fascinating to listen to. Like I genuinely look forward to the world that Gen Z is going to create. And this is me being a Zennial, you know what I mean? Like I look forward to these based 20-something-year-olds right now just being like, okay, we're going to bulldoze the Federal Reserve. You know?
I hope so. God, I hope so, because I'm running out of hope, dude. Like I don't think that people generally like freedom. That's kind of the sad position I've sort of ended up in.
Yeah, and I don't think people do either. I think people genuinely want to be told what to do, because it removes that sense of responsibility for their actions.
Man, I've said the exact same thing in my podcast like 100 times. That's exactly it. It's why people don't like liberty, because it comes with a heavy dose of responsibility, and it's much
Yeah.
easier to not only demand somebody else take care of me, but when my life
Yeah.
sucks, I can point at shitty Congress, the shitty president, be like, "It's your fault. It's your fault why my life sucks," and people can sort of offload that responsibility to somebody else, and it makes
Right.
them feel real good. They can feel
Yeah.
morally superior because it is easy to make fun of these retards. They're terrible.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
They're
people like
literally
that.
retarded.
People like
Like,
that. They want somebody to point at, and it's usually like,
mhm,
man, you take a look in the mirror, man, like a good hard look, because the problem is
mhm.
usually you.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's always agency. There's always something that you can do to make your life better. And a lot of people don't act like it. Like, go to the freaking gym. Like, do some pull-ups. If you can't do one pull-up, do like there's this thing, right? You can jump and then just let yourself down as slowly as you can. And you just keep doing that over and over again. And eventually you're gonna be able to do one pull-up. And then eventually you're gonna be able to do two. And then one day, after a million baby steps, you're gonna be able to do 100. But like, do something to get off of your fat ass. Like,
Yeah.
that's what I, like, and financially, there's ways you can do that. Like, buy gold and silver. Like, buy a little bit of Bitcoin here and there. And eventually you're gonna look and you're gonna be sitting on a pile of freaking cash and you won't know what to do with it all. And it's just, I don't know, man. I think people have been brainwashed to think that life happens to them, and Frank Herbert even goes into that. Like, he talks about some people refuse to participate. Life happens to them. They get by on just a sheer dumb.
And he's gone again. Oh.
Man, look, if you guys are going to listen to the NSA, I need you to stick around. Or I need you to fuck off. Pick one. Like, just pick a lane and stick with it. Okay, just do your job. But yeah, man, like, I mean, wow, we went from cryptids all the way to like discussing existential philosophy.
Hell yeah.
I
Let's
love it.
go.
Oh man. But yeah, like, I would legitimately put a 3-inch slug through that thing if I seen it again. There's no way I'd be like standing outside my window looking at me to take a pee. No.
I'm too frugal, man. I'm thinking like, oh, how much is that window gonna cost to replace? Fuck that.
I think they're like $50 at Lowe's, man. Just
No, not that window. It's a big picture window.
oh no.
No, dog. I guess I'll have to go outside, just like quit being a pussy and go outside and confront it myself. Shoot it outdoors.
I wouldn't go outside, man. Like, there's a lot of people that disappear in these mountains, and like,
well, come on, I'm not in the mountains, so let's be clear. Like, I live in Tennessee, but I live in a subdivision, man. I'm on the top of a hill on the edge of a forest, but I'm not like in.
yeah. The forest is the part that you could be concerned about, like, especially at nightfall. Like, but like, I don't know if you know. Have you ever heard the legend of Tom Messick? So
No.
he was going into the Adirondacks in New York, right? This is somewhere he's been every year since he was a kid, like, completely familiar in every way. He was an established woodsman. He was a survivalist just like me. He knew his shit, and he just disappears like a fart in the wind, just gone. Nobody knows where he went. Nobody can ever find a body. A body has never been found. Everybody's got solid alibis. It is a perfect, like, Sherlock Holmes type mystery case that he just vanishes, right? And there's thousands of these stories. Like a 3-year-old little boy, Dennis Martin, right, in North Carolina. And this one's crazy. So he's a 3-year-old little boy. He gets disappearing, and he is found 40 miles from where he was in like, not too far, so a 3-year-old little boy traveling 40 miles is impossible by himself, right? Okay, he says something protected him. The government, I shit you not, they dispatch the Green Berets in full kit to go look for these guys. Okay, now you can make the argument like that it's a training exercise, and of course they're training with their gear, but like, if they think that they're hunting something, they're gonna take their full gear too. You know what I mean? So like, it's just
Man.
like, yeah. Like, the government knows more than they think, and like, the one that I don't think is supernatural, but I 100% believe it, is the legends of the feral people. The feral people are scary.
Oh, tell me this one. I don't know this one.
Oh my God. Okay. So these are believed to be people that just live off in the woods willingly, and they don't grow crops. They don't, like, they can hunt, but like you can't hunt enough to feed a large population. Like you have to have agriculture too. Well, people just disappear. Like, look up some videos about the feral people. Like they'll be completely dressed in white, and they'll be just following people on the Appalachian Trail and stuff like that. And there's even some out west too. And people just disappear. And I
Why do
genuinely
people
believe they're
walk the
cannibals.
Appalachian Trail then? I see all these videos of these people outside in the Appalachian Trail videoing like some crazy
Like,
shit happening. I'm like, why are you doing this?
like my neighbor, she's a Yankee. She just moved here like a few months ago from Pennsylvania, and very nice lady, love her to death. She's very cool. But like she was like a little shocked to learn that I always carry a gun when I'm on the trail. She's like, why would you do that? And I'm like, I've grown up here, and I wouldn't be caught dead on the Appalachian Trail without a gun.
Or you just might.
Yeah, yeah. But like it's not that, like a lot of these is like people just disappear. It's not like, oh, we're finding a body.
Yeah.
They're gone. And I'm like, look, somebody might take me out, but they're not taking me out while I'm alive. They're not going to eat me while I'm alive, like in Walking Dead. You know what I mean? Like I have settled on a certain way that I'm allowed to die, and getting eaten slowly by cannibals is not one of them.
Yeah, no thanks, man.
But yeah, like the feral people, like legitimately, like I'm always looking around the woods, like for any sign of anything that's going wrong. Like, and that's not supernatural at all. Those are humans.
Correct.
And like you can get into like old Algonquin legends like the Wendigo and stuff like that. Like I genuinely think the Wendigo is real, but not the supernatural version. Like if you've seen that show, The Yellow Jackets, like it goes
I have
into
not.
the,
I don't watch TV at all, dude. Like I'm terrible.
yeah. Like I barely watch TV myself, but that show did catch me. Like so they're getting this, they crash in a plane, right? It's all this team of college girls, and they get really, really hungry and start starving, which is exactly how the Wendigo is formed in Native American mythology. Like they get really starved for one winter, and then they finally give into the temptation of eating human. And then it takes something from them. From that moment, they're a Wendigo for the rest of their life. And it's like they can never get enough. They're always starving. There's this one story of these French trappers, right? They have these Native American guides and everything like that. And this skinny guy comes wandering out of the woods and asking for help. And immediately the Native Americans, like they're like, this guy isn't right. Like they immediately know what he is. And the French, they're just like, okay, well, we'll feed him and see what happens. They give this clearly starving man a plate of food, like, meat, vegetable, cakes and stuff like that. And he's barely picking at it. But he makes comments about, oh, your children are so healthy. They're so fat.
Oh God.
But like this very clearly starving man is just picking at his food. Like if I was hungry, like, and I'm not even really that hungry right now. I'm about to go devour some stuff here in a minute after the show, right? So like if I was starving, I would inhale that food and thank him, but he was barely eating it, and he keeps looking at their kids. So on the advice of the Native Americans, they track this guy back. They follow his trail back to the camp that he said he had at one point. And they find in it human hand and like femur bones and stuff like that in the campfire.
Yes.
Well, they come back with the news to the trappers, and the Native Americans are given permission to just put an axe in the back of his head when he's not looking. And that's what they do. And then they bury him. So like they know that this is a cannibal, and you cannot trust them. So that's what a Wendigo is from the non-supernatural explanation. And I'm just like, wow, dude, like, yeah. So you mix that with the feral people, and like, you can see why I want my gun on the trail. You know what I mean?
Yeah, fun times, man.
Yeah, but Yeah, it's just I don't go to the woods without being heavily armed, and but it's fun going to the woods. You know, you just got to be careful. You got to do it with a sober mind. And but yeah, man, there's some creepy crap out there, especially if it's an alien outside your window or something.
Yeah, dude, I really wish I knew what the hell that was now. Wish I hadn't
Mhm.
pussied out and I just maybe not. I don't know. I just it's like so rare of an experience, but I
Mhm.
was so afraid in the moment. I was just like,
Oh yeah,
it's like,
yeah,
dude,
it's terrifying.
yeah. It's just one of those weird moments where that all that bullshit that you made fun of, all of a
Mhm.
sudden staring you in the face, and it's like,
Yeah, yeah.
bro.
And see, that's the crazy thing is like you would have like arguably, I think you would have zero subconscious like priming to hallucinate something like that, because you don't believe in it anyway, you know.
No, and I was
Wow.
in the process of trying to debunk it in real time too. It was not like I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
sitting there like, "Oh my gosh, an alien." I went through the whole checklist. Okay, check, 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 and every check I went through, my anxiety was going up, up, up. I was like, "Oh shit, oh
Right.
shit, oh shit."
Yeah, yeah. Like I'd be getting my shower gun out, like f that window. You know what I mean?
What's
Laura
weird is I
Lauren
wasn't
asks.
afraid it was coming through. It was
Mhm.
so weird. I almost knew that it wasn't gonna go any further. It's there for some reason. I don't know what reason
Right,
it was
right.
there for, although I have read since then some more about the cryptid mythology and all that
Mhm.
stuff, and, there are watcher creatures apparently, and
Yeah,
there's also
yeah,
something called a knot deer. Have you
yeah.
heard
I
that?
wrote an article about that one.
Okay,
Just
yeah, so I've
yeah.
gone through, like, the list of trying to, like, fit this into, one of these things, and, none of them really seem to fit, but I do see there's evidence of these watcher people that will just
Mhm.
and I don't know if it's like a vampire thing, you have to invite them in or maybe this is a thing where you're just not supposed to look at them because that can invite them
Mhm.
in further. I don't know what it is. I don't know all the rules
Yeah.
here, but, I'm trying to get my head around it.
Yeah, like, I mean, like, I think there's something to the Tuatha Dan, and like, Lauren in the chat asked, "How do you explain all that stuff, demons?" And honestly, like, demons is like the best I've got for the most part. But like I do think there's creatures out there that we do not understand and that are smart enough to avoid humans. Like, I don't think that's too much of a stretch for scientific, like, for even a scientific argument. So, like, if these creatures, like your Bigfoots, that have had credible sightings, especially Mothman, like Mothman, I don't know if you've been to
I don't
the
know
like.
anything about Mothman.
Oh my god. Okay, so like starting out, they were digging a grave in the woods, right? And they see this like 6, 7 foot tall thing with glowing red eyes, and it looks like it's got wings, and it's in a tree, hunched down, like watching them. Like going back to what you're talking about with the watchers, right? This is like besides Bigfoot, this is the most well documented cryptid there is. Like
Mm,
we're talking like these are like if you watch the movie The Mothman Prophecies, they do a really good job of that.
I haven't seen that. I
Uh,
know Richard Gere's in it, that's all I know.
yeah, yeah. So like there's this scene where the woman's talking about like she's like these aren't crackheads, these aren't crazy people. These are good, upstanding Christian people who have never seen anything in their entire lives and they're swearing that this is real and they are terrified. Like and then like the Mothman thing, it's all in Point Pleasant, West Virginia, right? It's just this area. There's like an army bunker and everything. These army soldiers had it land on top of their Jeep and it's like rocking the Jeep and
Whoa.
everything like that. These are soldiers, right? That weren't even in contact with the town and they saw it, right? So, anyway, this all culminates at the collapse of this bridge in Point Pleasant. It's like one of the worst engineering disasters in American history. Like 46 something cars like just collapse and fall into the river and a lot of people drown. And then after that, the Mothman's never seen again. It's like he's like a moth to a flame, like a flame of tragedy or something like that. And after that, it's not like he's warning people either. It's not like he's saying this bad thing's going to happen. It's like he wants to be there to see it. And it's
Mm.
it's it's really freaking creepy. But anyway, there's a statue of him in Point Pleasant, and you can put quarters in his butt crack. And
Of
but
course, as
yeah,
one does.
yes, you do, I guess. But it's a very detailed statue. Let's put it that way. And you can put just about anything in that butt crack. But yeah, It's the museums there. I can't show the pictures right now because I don't have them pulled up, but like I took a lot of pictures. Um, like there's just certain ones like Bigfoot with the Patterson footage. Like when you AI stabilize the Patterson footage because it's naturally just
Yep,
shaking
yep.
around and all that. Like you actually see muscles in his calf that are flexing like a normal like whenever you're walking you feel your muscle in your calf like flex and roll up. That muscle would be completely invisible in a big skin suit, like a big like Disneyland type suit. So like you, little things like that, like I think point to factual cryptid encounters. But I think you should at all times be trying to debunk them as well, because like there's a lot of charlatans out there just trying to sell you something.
For sure, that makes it even more complicated to suss out truth from fiction. So,
Yeah.
I think the Patterson footage also had something to do with the gait of it, right? So I think there was some sort of way that the knees and hips rotated that was
Hmm.
more
Yeah.
ape-like than humanoid.
Hmm.
I'm not sure exactly. I think it was proportion of the femur to the
Hmm.
tibia that was totally
Yeah.
different too. There was a lot of
Hmm.
stuff that I've seen that's somewhat compelling about that footage.
Yeah. There's like I think on the Bering Strait, the you know how the like the ice bridge formed with the
Yep,
frozen
yep.
Bering Strait. So they found skeletal remains of an ancient species called Gigantopithecus, and that in every way could be considered Bigfoot. So like if this creature knows to stay away, like it would be like yeah, and Lauren says Nephilim, that gets into a whole different ball game. Like man, the Nephilim is crazy, especially if you get into like the Kandahar giants and stuff like that. But
Yeah,
like
I don't know much about it, but that was like an Afghanistan thing where they claim that the
yeah,
US Special Forces found some red-headed
yeah,
giants or something like
yeah,
that in a
yeah.
cave.
Yeah, like 6 fingers, 6 toes, and then they just whisked it away to be studied. And like the soldiers were told that they caught an RPG to the chest or something like that, or something like I can't quite remember the details because it's been a while since I read it. But like these families had their kids killed, and they didn't really get a good explanation of how they were killed. Like it was like big hole in their chest. That's all. But yeah, like Lauren brings up a good point there. Like it's just the Nephilim. Like I think there's something to all this because like if you look at every single religion in the world, every single one of them has a giants legend. Every single one, even cultures that had no contact with each other. Like we're talking like the Jotun from Norse myth. We're talking like the Nephilim from the Bible, the Titans in Greek mythology, all kinds of crazy stuff. And every single culture also has a flood myth. We're talking over 500 different flood myths. So like,
It's not just that. You can go to like all you probably know this, like all of these really separate cultures have got a lot
mhm,
of this very, very similar uh
mhm,
iconography, like these
mhm,
these these
yeah,
chiseled, portraits of things that
mhm,
just and they're
yeah,
common,
mhm,
amongst cultures that have never, ostensibly
yeah.
communicated with each other, which is wild.
Oh yeah, like the one that really trips me out is the Olmecs. Like these statues that they left behind, we don't know anything about them, but they're clearly African Americans, and this is in South America. Like they have very clear like African American features, like the large nose, the
Yep.
lips. Not being racist or anything, but there are certain features that you
Well, it's
see
not
on certain
racist to
people.
acknowledge that we've got different
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
secondary
yeah.
phenotypic differences between,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
population groups.
exactly. But like these like clearly were an extremely advanced culture. Like of course they were megalithic. Like that doesn't mean that it's like Edgar Casey like lasers and spaceships in Atlantis and all that stupid crap. But like we're talking like if you look at just what Plato said about Atlantis, like just what Plato said, he said that they were a seafaring people with navigation abilities. Like that is way different than lasers and spaceships and all kinds of crazy crap. Like this is like a culture that has invented navigation over large distances on the ocean, which we didn't even really figure out until the 1600s. You know what I mean? So like it's just like I think it was like I think in the 1600s they were still trying to figure out how to get time right. like to
Right,
know
right.
when they would arrive is what I'm talking about. But there's
Well, then
just so much we don't know, man.
you go into Graham Hancock's work, you know, these sort of
Yeah,
ancient
yeah.
and
I love his stuff.
Randall Carlson, these folks that are talking about advanced civilizations that predate
Yeah, yeah,
us by quite a ways, and a lot of the claims
yeah,
about the ocean are important too. I think
yeah.
there's a lot of claims of stuff coming out of the ocean, and we're starting to see it too. A lot of the
Hmm.
UFO, UAP
Hmm.
space is seeing these sort of transmedium craft that just go directly
Right,
in the ocean. They'll pop up. You don't have,
right.
any clue. I would go back to my ocean comment. We have no clue what's down there, man. Like, it could
Oh
be
yeah, absolutely.
absolutely
Like
anything.
like we've scanned it with Google Earth, but you could like if you go to Google Earth and like look at it and just see the like there's just nothing but artifacts like crazy because like the fast satellite images are folded over and over again and like you
Yep,
see repeating patterns like they've edited it and things like that, which is crazy. And NASA has been proven to edit photos, like, and they've been proven to fake photos as well.
for
So,
sure.
like, you know, it just like there's just so much we don't know,
Are you
man. And
suggesting our
it's
government would lie to us, Travis? Come on, man.
no, I'd never do
How
that.
dare you,
Come
sir?
on, guys. Yeah, I would never do that. That sounds very anti-citrus.
Get your tinfoil hat off, sir. My God.
Yeah, man. We're coming up on an hour and a half here. I don't want to hold you forever, but man, this has been a great conversation. Like
Yeah, it's been
I've
fun.
enjoyed the hell out of
We
it.
didn't even talk about the topic we were originally going to talk about, which is fun.
I know,
We
man.
were
It
going to
just
talk
kind of
immigration. I
evolved.
remember that was like the first. I think we were on back
Oh
and forth
yeah, we were,
on
weren't we?
Free Show, and we were like, "Hey, man, I want to talk to you about immigration." We never even got there. Got them
Yeah,
funner,
yeah,
more
yeah.
fun topics.
I believe my immigration stance is that we line the border with catapults, and then we start a 6 month countdown, and anybody that hasn't self deported by then gets fired out of.
Oh boy, yeah, I can't follow you there, man. I cannot follow you there. I'm a free market guy.
I feel you, brother.
But of course,
Yeah,
we don't have
like
anything resembling a free market, so I understand the counter arguments too. But I always view it like kind of like the gun thing. Well,
mhm,
do you have a natural right to defend yourself how you want?
mhm,
Does, yes, okay. Well, what about school shootings? What about people that are going to be criminal with this? It's like
mhm,
same way with border stuff. Everyone's like, well,
mhm,
you can't let them in because
mhm.
reasons, right? There's going to cause a
Right.
negative outcome. And I'm like, I don't give a shit. If you have a natural right to do something, hands off, buddy. That's my take.
Yeah, like seriously, like jokes aside, though, like I think I would be comfortable with like something like Ellis Island open borders, like that you come in, we figure out who you are. Are you a shithead? Are you gonna actually add value to the society? Do you have an IQ above 65? That's a big one. Or are you going to be eating dirt? That's not cool. And you know, once we know who you are, you're given like a contract of assimilation. And after 3 generations of living here, your children are then born to become a citizen. And then that ensures assimilation while preserving American culture and values. And then at the end of that, like then your grandson can run for office, he can vote, all that stuff. But this guy in Richmond, he moved here as an adult, well, almost an adult in 2007, and he's trying to ban mine and your guns. And he's a senator in Virginia. You know what I mean?
For sure, I understand that happens, but here's what I would say.
Mhm.
American culture and values are shit.
Mhm.
We don't have good values and culture here. So let somebody in, maybe make things better, man. I don't know because it's terrible right now.
Mhm.
I'm very negative towards American culture right now. I think we become
Mhm.
soft, we become weak, we become immoral,
Mhm.
licentious. Just it's just this
Mhm.
this excess. We've been living off of this sort of
Mhm.
fake prosperity of being able to print
Mhm.
money and export our inflation to other countries via the
Mhm.
petrodollar. So I'm like, hey,
Yeah.
man, it's that weak men, hard times, that whole
Mhm.
cycle. Like, man, we have gotten soft and we've gotten evil and we've gotten
Mhm.
complacent and fat and slovenly and everything else, man. And I don't think
Right.
there's much that's great about American values. I don't think there's anything that's really
Mhm.
worth preserving here. I think things need to be
Mhm.
rebooted. I think,
Mhm.
if anything, we need to disrupt. There's got to be some change to what's happening because I look around and I see nothing but
Mhm.
evil and complacent
Mhm.
people everywhere. I don't see anybody
Right.
with any virtue. It's just this tiny
Mhm.
sliver, minority of people that are
Mhm.
being quite squeaky about certain things. Like, I
Right.
always raise this as a my litmus test. Like,
Mhm.
you assholes descended on DC on January 6th because you thought your fucking politician who turned out to be a pedo and like that guy, you're mad because you thought he got cheated. You rioted in the Capitol over that, and then but the Epstein thing, we're all just like, yeah, we'll give it a pass. It's fine. No one's upset about it, other than maybe some mean tweets online about it. Like no one's doing anything. We got no soul. America's got no soul. We've got nothing left. Like we're just like a skeleton where the carcass has been picked clean of all virtue.
Yeah, I think you make a strong argument there about the decadence and the comfort and everything, because like if that cycle you purported to, like weak men create hard times create strong men create better times. That's an unbreakable cycle in human history.
Yep.
Like Spain used to rule the world like we do now, and they just gave up on producing agriculture. They just gave up on growing most of their own food. They just started buying it from everybody. Guess what happens when the food started coming in? The Spanish Empire collapsed. This is a repeating cycle that happens. Like America's on the downfall right now. American hegemony is going away. We're not going to win on Iran. Iran has been it is a natural fortress. The last person to successfully conquer it was Genghis Khan. Okay, and he was on horseback using tactics they had never seen before. So like it's just like we're so comfortable that we've cut our own throats, but that's a cycle that cannot be stopped. That's just human nature. And the thing is, I think we can at the very least try to preserve our rights. But the problem with preserving our rights with violence is that I don't know if you've heard that saying, if the trucks stop, America stops.
No.
Just going by the logistics of how this just-in-time delivery system of food works. Every 3 days, you get a truck, and that truck tops up a few trucks, even tops up a town with food, whatever they need, medicine, you name it, toothpaste, who cares? Those trucks top that up. The second that these truckers feel unsafe on the roads, they're going to quit delivering to that certain town. So if we use the Second Amendment immediately following, we're talking full-scale logistical collapse. Towns run out of food within 3 days. Okay. Clean water stops being produced around week number 2. And this is going into survival survival theology almost, is that it's a time called the Great Dying. 3 days without water, you're a dead man. Okay. 3 days without water for a town, and you've already got bodies poisoning like everything that's still there. Okay. And it's just it just keeps exponentially climbing into the death tolls. And even though maybe only a few thousand have died, this is what happened in Iraq. We killed maybe 150,000, 200,000 in direct combat, but 11 million died from displacement, water, poison water, lack of food, lack of medicine, things like that. So like, nothing happens in a vacuum. Everything in nature is completely interdependent on each other. So if we start shooting, like we're talking complete logistical collapse and millions and millions and millions starve to death and die, then that's not even counting them infighting and shattering into tribes and things like that and slaughtering each other for what's left. Like in Book of Eli, like he was talking about, like I've seen people kill over things that they would have thrown away in the previous world, But I could go on forever about that. But
that's so important. I think you're absolutely right, and I think we saw that play out in COVID. Just a minor, disruption in supply chains, and everything went straight to hell. And people were literally fist fighting in the grocery stores over toilet paper. That's how quickly things can sort of slide into chaos.
Yeah, and just imagine what happens when 100 million people no longer have clean water. Like the ones that do have access to the dirty water that exists, they're going to drink the dirty water and die. And the ones that are trying to kill them to get to it, it's just like, I don't think people quite realize the animals we turn into in scarcity, because we
don't have that program running. I think people need to if I could drive home one point from this podcast, is that you have a genome, you have DNA that DNA is not static. There's a methylation group, so it's called epigenetics. You can turn switches on and off. We have programs that we've evolved to survive any type of situation. And just because it's not running right now doesn't mean it won't turn on. This is like the
Yeah.
Walking Dead syndrome. As soon as society goes to hell, that switch turns on your genome that says this is in a state of famine. This is a state of shortage. This is a state of, other people are violent around me. And you will run that program and you will become incredibly violent and evil almost overnight. Like this switch turns on very rapidly and it's an evolved mechanism. Don't think it's not there. Don't think that people won't become incredibly brutal. We live in a state of massive abundance right now and it's not natural. This is the anomaly. This is not what we evolved under. This is relatively new. We're talking.
We are essentially living on a different planet from 100 years ago.
100%, man.
It's just like if you look back in history, because I'm a history nerd, 90% of all human effort prior to the Industrial Revolution was just in acquiring food. And the rest of it is and a good portion of that is war. Like they would have to just go and fight and take the people who did have food and it becomes their food because that's how they had to survive. But now I can stuff my fat ass with McDoubles until I pop if I want to. That is an anomaly. And it can end at any time.
Yeah. People need to be aware, man, to not only be aware of other people when shit hits the fan, because they're going to be way worse than you think. You're going to become way worse than you think if things go sideways. So be prepared.
Yeah. Especially parents. A desperate parent will assault a machine gun nest with a sharpened spoon if he has to, so he doesn't have to hear his baby cry anymore. I don't think people quite realize what they're asking for when they want to start shooting. I get it, our government sucks. I get it that they're devil worshipping pedos, but do you really want 4 billion people to die because of it? You can say yes, but you're lying because nobody knows what that kind of hell on earth looks like. The one that I can think of is the Krakatoa eruption in 534. So it put so much ash, and that's part of my intro, as I told it, the Krakatoa explosion and the crop failures and everything. For the next 2 years, the entire atmosphere is just dark. 0 crops grew for 2 years straight on the entire earth. We're talking in the Mediterranean where it's supposed to be 130 in the summertime. They had snow and frost. 0 crops. Okay. Butchery on every single conceivable battlefield.
Yes.
Your neighborhood is an absolute just hellscape. That's what happens when people start getting hungry.
If turn into a Wendigo, let's just tie it up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Bring it back to the Wendigo. If you think people are going to tear each other's eyes out over a Tickle Me Elmo, wait until they're hungry. That's what I want to say. But man, dude, thank you for coming by, man. I have enjoyed the heck out of this conversation. Plug anything you want to plug. Tell us about yourself.
Yeah, just real simple, man. I run a podcast called Aiming Up Podcast. Had a lot of amazing guests so far. I need to have you on the show. Also, got a new venture, a Narco Syndicate clothing company. It's linked up right there. It's on the screen, narcosyndicate.com. I've got you can see right here. I got a Black Guns Matter line, a solutionary line with Maj Toure. 100% of the proceeds go to support his work over there. I'm a huge fan of Maj.
Absolutely.
Got a lot of other non-BL or Black Guns Matter and solutionary merchandise as well. It's just generic. Looks almost like I don't know, I guess biker or skater type of stuff. It's some pretty cool designs. Everyone check it out. I'm really enjoying doing the whole line. I got a whole bunch more stuff in the pipeline, man. It's very liberty focused type of gear, but I don't think it looks corny or anything. It's not a lot of preachy stuff. It's just supposed to be kind of cool and kind of edgy stuff that I like, and I hope somebody else likes it too.
Right on. All right. So one thing I asked my guests for is tell us what our homework is. I need a physical task, a mental task, and a social task because we need to make our body stronger, our mind stronger, and we need to be better with people in order to be more effective people.
Physical, mental, and social.
Yeah. Has to be.
Yeah. So physical. Let's say I want to have something that everyone can do. It doesn't have any gear or anything. Do 100 push-ups today. Break
100
them up
push-ups.
break them up into groups of 10 before the end of the
All right.
night tonight. Do 100. I'll do it as well. So I'll
All right.
commit to that. Mental task, I would
Mhm.
say, learn one aspect of philosophy.
Okay.
I'm a huge philosophy nerd, and I think people don't have the basics down, and you need the basics down because logic emerges from philosophy, right? So if you understand, I mean, if I'll give you some examples, learn
Mhm.
metaphysics, learn
Right.
epistemology, right?
Mhm.
Learn some very, very basic foundational things. You can watch a
Mhm.
5-minute video on YouTube and just get some grounding and maybe
Mhm.
consider learning some more about philosophy. I'm a huge
My
fan. I think it
guy's
go ahead.
my guy's Diogenes.
Nice, nice. Yeah, no, I'm a
Um,
huge fan of that, and I think it really we can't think unless we can have a solid foundation in philosophy. It just helps us with
absolutely.
critical thinking. So I'm a huge fan of that. If you have a chance to explore that, it's changed my life.
Mhm.
I got the bug from Stefan Molyneux way back in the day.
Mhm.
He's an awesome follow. In case anyone doesn't know who he is, he's a huge person in the liberty movement, also in philosophy in general. So and also got
Right
banned
on.
off of social media for a bunch of years. But he's back now. I'm really happy to have him
Imagine
back.
that.
So shout out Stefan Molyneux. I love the guy. He's a little bit weird on some stuff, but I don't care. He's provided tons of value to me. So philosophy, philosophy, philosophy. If you any effort you spend, it's gonna come back to you multiplied. So I would say that. And then what was the last one? Social.
Yeah, social,
Go
because
help
people
somebody.
matter.
Go help somebody in some way. I think a lot of people get anxious and up into a ball and they're in their head worrying about themselves. And I
Mhm.
think people have been through a lot as
Mhm.
individuals in a lot of different ways. And one of the best ways
Mhm.
I've found to help somebody is to help somebody who needs help in an area that you've suffered with, right? If you've
Right.
like I was horribly abused as a child, so I talk to people
Mhm.
about those types of things and help people just be there and listen to them or give them some advice, things that I've learned along the way.
Mhm.
But I think just generally, reaching out to somebody, talking to somebody that's in need, because I think a lot more people are in need than they'll admit. A lot of people like to
Right.
suffer silently. It's
Yep.
not cool, especially if you're a guy, to be like,
Mhm.
man, I'm struggling with something. I need some help. But just go
Right.
find somebody to help, or if it's even something simple as like your neighbor needs something moved, or offer to
Mhm.
help somebody, hold the door, anything. Just do something positive.
Right.
That would be my recommendation.
Very cool, man. Thank you. But yeah, so if you don't have anything like else you want to say, like I guess we'll close it out, and I'll close it out with a Patrick Henry quote: "Guard with jealous attention the public liberty. Suspect everyone who approaches that jewel. Unfortunately, nothing will preserve it except for downright force. And whenever you give up that force, you are inevitably ruined." This is Travis J. Wells of Appalachian Liberty, and this has been Brent Freeman. Until next time, the great object is that every man be armed. Bye.